Pope Francis' latest gift to the Catholic Church. It's by Barbara Simpson, WND. She decries pontiffs further clamping down on the traditional Latin Mass. For Roman Catholics, this Christmas season contained a quote-unquote gift they didn't anticipate and one they wish would go away. It's a gift, quote-unquote, that applies to Catholics in the United States and all across the world where the Catholic Church exists. It's left heads spinning, and millions of people, clerics and lay alike, are trying to make sense of this. What could cause such a consternation? Why, it's another of the decrees by Pope Francis concerning worship, but this one is a doozy. It's been called many things, but some have called it a bulldozing of old rite sacraments. It's part of his annual review and was posted along with the celebration of his 85th birthday. What he had to say was nothing but a gift for Catholics worldwide. Essentially, Pope Francis posted new rules that eliminate the traditional rules for the celebration of the Mass and other major sacraments of the Church. He has basically forbidden the traditional Latin Mass with many new rules and regulations for priests as to how they are trained and when and how and where they can celebrate Mass. His move effectively reverses the move by prior prelates to maintain the Latin Mass, called the Tridentine Mass, which is highly favored by many, especially young Catholics. Cardinal Gerard Muller, former chief of the Vatican's doctrinal office, the Office of the Doctrine of the Faith, was quoted in Breitbart as chiding the Pope for his, quote, selective clampdown on the traditional Latin Mass while allowing progressives to reject basic tenets of the faith with impunity. So essentially what the Pope has done is eliminate the celebration of all sacraments according to rites that predate the Second Vatican Council. We're talking thousands of years of tradition. Why is he changing thousands of years of tradition? His new rites affect the form of baptism, penance, matrimony, and extreme unction, the last rites. That's the holy oil. It also changes the form of the ordination of bishops, priests, and deacons and eliminates the use of liturgical books in Latin. The liturgies for the ordination of men to the minor orders of subdeacon, acolyte, lector, and exorcist are changed, as well as blessings for consecrating altars and sacred objects. In addition, there is a whole variety of rules concerning how many masses per day a priest can celebrate and where. Local parish churches face extreme rules as to whether masses can even be celebrated there, when, and how. Finally, support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box. Further, there are regulations as to whether information about Latin Masses being celebrated in a parish can be included in the parish bulletin. I guess the Pope feels that keeping the information for people will prevent them from participating, which apparently is what he wants. That's what it looks like. Priests cannot offer a Latin Mass on the same day as a new rite. If at the last minute he falls sick or for some other reason cannot celebrate Mass, he cannot ask another priest to fill in for him. That is ridiculous. So talk about new rules and regulations that aim to put a limit on any Catholics, young or old, who want to continue the traditional Latin Mass. Since Vatican II, with the changes in the Mass, Novus Ordo in English, and the elimination of so many traditional prayers, there has been a major movement back to the traditional, which was enabled by Emeritus Pope Benedict XVI in 2007. Despite the changes dictated by the Vatican, thousands of Catholics want the Latin Mass and all that goes with it. Now, the thing with the Pope is that he makes decisions on his own. He doesn't take into account of the rest of the cardinals and all those who are, of course, involved in the ecumenical procedures of the Catholic Church. And we know that that's not to be done. I'm not Catholic, I'm Christian Orthodox, and the Patriarch or the Archbishop cannot do that in the Orthodox Church. They have to have a meeting and have a vote as to what has to be done. It's not just one person that has the right to decide what to do and all these wrong things going on here, for example. Now, the dropping of Latin in the Mass and other sacraments has made a significant difference in the number of Catholics attending parish services, and along with that, a lower amount of financial donations, of course. Both have been felt deeply in parishes across the world. So it shouldn't surprise anyone that the secular press supports Francis mainly because he loves them and the publicity. There's never a moment he does not play to the media, reporters and cameras, as they cover the changes he has made. The Pope's latest move is touted by Associated Press as one of his, quote, most significant accomplishments in 2021, end quote, if anybody could believe that. Thomas Williams reports that the measure indicates the Pope has taken the gloves off and praises him for sticking it to the conservative Catholics who prefer to worship God according to the traditional liturgy in which Catholics have prayed for centuries. AP noted approving that Francis responded to conservative Catholics with the papal equivalent of no more Mr. Nice Guy, whatever that means. Cardinal Muller said that the Pope has drastically restricted the celebration of the Latin Mass with a clear intent to condemn the extraordinary form to extinction in the long run. And she says here, Barbara Simpson says, I have to admit I have not attended a Latin Mass in years, and I miss it desperately. I do not understand the changes in my church since Vatican II, and while I will not actively oppose them, I decided long ago in the midst of a brouhaha over something at my local church that these people can take my church away from me, but they cannot take away my faith, she said. They have not, and they will not, regardless of what Pope Francis says or does. Happy New Year. Good for her, of course. Faith is one thing, and what a man does to destroy the church is another. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support.